Welcome to RLF NorCal. It's election time once again, many saying this is one of the most important in recent history. With as big of a race as it is, the one for president isn't the only one that matters. All over the nation, there are elections at the state and local levels up in the air, giving those who try a chance to earn our tax dollars. Rather than ask who you're voting for, I'm asking how that candidate earns that vote. Is it their popularity that gets to you? Do you hear about them through the media, friends, family? Do you vote your own party? Is it their promises? Do you just listen to what your candidate has to say? Maybe watch a debate or a rally? Do you do your own research on their policies? Check on your own what each candidate represents or has said in the past? Or maybe you don't vote, instead keeping yourself out of the political world and focused on the struggles of living. Whichever it is, I'm asking to find out how we end up with the politicians we do. I'm here in Redding, Shasta County, once again to ask this question. Let's find out what some had to say.
Yes,
I'm voting this election. Yep.
absolutely.
Yes.
Honesty, transparency, accountability, respect for liberty, understanding of the Constitution, not only the letter but the spirit of the law, actual representation of people's interests.
I think honesty, respect, involvement in our nation and then local communities as well. And really taking a stand in issues that the people are bringing up that are most important to them. This year's been like insane with COVID and police brutality, Black Lives Matter. I mean, now the economy's like completely failed. You know, people are just not, I think people are confused and stuff. So if a candidate's running, just kind of bring some things to light to share with their nation that make more sense.
Well, first of all, I think they should be constitutionalists. The Constitution is what keeps this nation running on a solid track where everything is consolidated to a primary effort that benefits the people in general. No matter what color, race, or political party you are, with the politics aligned with the Constitution, then you get what the people really need instead of what the politicians and the rich people want.
Proven outcomes, do what they say they're going to do.
Platform, how honest they seem, how well spoken they are, how well they can answer questions, how direct they are in their communication, and the aforementioned qualities above.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking that because we only have several candidates to choose from, I'm feeling like I basically now can either vote for Trump or vote for Biden. And so the person that I've chosen seems a little more grounded and aware of what the people in my generation are really needing as part of security and safety and unity in the nation.
Honesty is at the top of the list, and I research to see whether what is being said about them is what they really said and do. I don't go with the gossip flying around in the political arenas. That's a bunch of nonsense, okay? I listen to the politicians themselves and judge on what they're saying. The other thing is, I am a strong believer in the God of my understanding. And I like to see politicians that have God at the forefront of their lives as well, because God was a very original factor in why the Constitution turned out the way that it turned out, because those men and a few women that were involved in putting that together had a God that they believed in, and God was the omnipotent authority at that point. And I believe in the 1890s or so, one of the big universities, law schools, replaced the president of that university with an atheist, and from that point on they began excluding God from politics. And now we have a bunch of people running around that think God is that humans are the ultimate authority, and God is like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny.
Communism, socialism destroys lives like crazy. I'll do anything to avoid that in this nation.
Well, they're not impartial anymore. By and large, they're peddling narrative and not news. There's no ethics or integrity in journalism anymore as far as the mainstream publications go, most particularly, as of late, the New York Times, CNN. The fact of the matter is the left controls the vast majority of mainstream media, aside from Fox and, a small number of other right-wing outlets. And Twitter and Facebook and Google and YouTube have been caught multiple times censoring or suppressing information, taking down people's posts, preventing them from sharing. So we are entering into an age of censorship.
I feel like it's kind of like a no-holds-barred type thing. There's just no truth anymore within mainstream media, which I don't really follow. I don't have Facebook. So just kind of what I see, on Google through CNN, Vice News, some of the underground stuff, I don't know, I feel like it's become more of a basis of entertainment, not like keeping it real.
Yeah, I'm going to go partisan here. I jumped ship during the Obama administration. I've been a Democrat since Kennedy, John Kennedy, after he was assassinated. Even though I wasn't old enough to understand what was going on then, I had a feeling something in the world had changed. And I've been Democrat ever since then. Although with Johnson, I was a little bit on the fence because he was pretty crooked. I stayed with Obama because I felt that he inherited a huge financial deficit, and so I gave him a lot of slack. But I feel at the end of the day, he basically did nothing for this country that was really very good. So, and then when I found out about the John Kerry and Obama peace deal, nuclear dirty arrangement they made, I said, I've had enough of that. If they're going to endanger the world by giving a terrorist nation the money to develop nuclear weapons, I'm out of here. So I'm on the right wing now, I'm conservative. I wouldn't say right wing. Yeah, I lean to the right. I lean towards people that want. What I lean towards is that the leaders of our nation do what's right and good for our people. I'm hugely in favor of bringing jobs back to America. I'm hugely in favor of going into areas where there's not a lot of opportunity and developing some good opportunity. A thing that turned me off about Obama is him and Biden bragged about how they bailed out General Motors. They gave him 3 huge financial bailouts, and General Motors took the money and went to China and built 4 plants over there and left Detroit defunct and did nothing for their people over there. Those are not good politics for this nation. We need somebody who wants this nation first to keep it good.
Well, I wonder who they're working for, basically. Don't like it.
Not really. My politics have been pretty consistent, based on individual rights and integrity. So, by and large, our country has moved further and further away from that. So, it hasn't changed how I vote or why I vote. There really aren't a lot of good candidates. It's also very rare that I choose the lesser of evils. I'll vote just on principle, whereas in the past I wouldn't, but that would also include using write-in candidates.
100%. I'm a mother, and so I've really gotten my teenage daughter involved and my 10-year-old involved in why it's so important to vote and be involved in the community and see like who is representing us, like in our county, in our city, in our state. It's important. So if we're just trying to go through this and not be educated or educate others, we're sheep.
Well, with the present atmosphere on the left, I could honestly say I will never again vote Democrat. Never. I mean, I know there are some good ones out there. There's no question about it. I came from the community where Leon Panetta was our senator representative for quite a while. Leon Panetta was a pretty good guy. I liked him. I think he went a little bit too far from the left to the left after the Clinton, Obama administrations. But I'm definitely conservative on the right now, and plan to stay there for as long as it takes to get this great nation back to being great again. I want to say, could you imagine how great this nation would be if we would all pull in the same direction instead of everybody going their separate way and throwing Molotov cocktails at each other?
Yeah. No, I think if you've been professionally trained, like educated in a university, you start out with enough compassion to be a Democrat, and then as you age, you have enough wisdom to change parties and basically preserve the best that you can of a society. And that's what I've done.
Yeah, I suppose what we're seeing right now is very much akin to the collapse of the Weimar Republic, and the direction we're headed in is very similar.
Get out there and vote for the person who's going to do the best job for this country, not China.
If you believe the MSM and techno oligarchy billionaires, if you agree with them, you're part of the problem. You're definitely not part of the resistance.
Educate yourself. Knowledge is power.
With this video, many of the people passing by seemed to be intrigued by my sign. Many stopped to talk with me, but not wanting to in front of the camera, saying how they felt about the elections or having choice words for their candidate's opponent, but not really answering how they vote. I guess I'm going to have to start recording audio interviews also. Was even told by a person walking by, I don't care much for the elections, but I'll tell you one thing, better stock up on ammo. The people you saw were the few brave enough to share what they felt. There was one other lady who spoke with me, and unfortunately, I lost that vid by accident. She spoke just like everyone else did though, but I won't speak for her. These were the ones to show that they don't go into the booth blinded, who have done enough digging into their candidates to satisfy their curiosity. Which makes me wonder, how many didn't want to speak to the camera because of the way they vote? When confronted by a tiny realistic approach to how they choose their candidate, how many realize they don't research them? They will listen to the rest of the world or not involve themselves at all. And when things happen that make them unhappy, will they still listen to the world when placing the blame? In the end, all I can hope is that people went away rethinking the way they vote, double-checking those we decide to put in public positions to represent us, the people. Thank you for checking out this vid, and I hope you will join for the next one. This is RLF NorCal. All people, all opinions.